All right, everybody. We are live here in Greenwich, Connecticut. Mark is in, what was it? Is it Sandy, Utah? I think it's Sandy, Utah. Yeah. Having a little bit of technical difficulty. So we figured we'd get on live so that we're on time at 10:30. And then Mark will figure out his technical situation because he can do everything. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Rangers, actually, what happened to Rangers since we talked last? So they had a couple of good road wins. They beat Carolina and Boston. Carolina, both teams had some injuries, but still, they're still NHL hockey teams. So the Rangers. So I make sure I want to warn Mark here. We are live as we speak. Okay, so I don't want you to say anything inappropriate.
I never say anything that's wrong.
You know what? What am I thinking about? Yeah. You're not some politician or something that says certain things off air as opposed to on air, right? Like you're a saint either way, basically. Yeah. What do you got there? What's the hat? What is the hat? Is that where you're?
It's Morris. No, it's Morristown Beard. It's a prep school out in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
The hockey team. Yeah.
Did I get it correct? Now you're from Sandy, Utah. You're
correct.
Got it. It took me 3 weeks before I figured that out.
6 almost.
How are you doing there, brother?
Good. Yeah, we had a little bit of dusting here, but as I showed you before I screwed up everything, the mountains look just tremendous.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. This is great. Mark Puttenvink for Patriot Training Systems. He's in Sandy, Utah, spreading his knowledge to a bunch of young hockey players there, helping coach the youth hockey program. Is there a name for the youth hockey program you've got there?
Yeah, Salt Lake Effect.
Salt Lake Effect.
Yeah, they got a really cool logo. It's nice.
Well, and so do you know how they came up with the name, The Effect? Is there some?
That I don't know, but so what occurred was the program existed prior to us coming out here and coaching, and the gentleman who took over the program met Nathan Parrott at one of the tournaments Nathan was running, and said, "I have a program and really like you to bring in some qualified coaches." And he must have dialed wrong when he called me, but anyway, yeah.
I knew you'd say that. I didn't say that. So again, Mark does a lot of training, military personnel, kids, all kinds of stuff. So it's real. I say this, obviously I'm a big fan of Mark's, but it's a huge honor he's in New Jersey and they reach out to him from Utah to go out across the country and help coach kids. So I think that's a huge honor. So very cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really I'm very grateful for this opportunity because I have to say, man, Beth and I are loving it out here. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Great experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great adventure. And
yeah. Hold on here. We got to say hello to our military veteran here, the magical William Haynes.
Hey, the Bears are #1 in the NFC right now.
Oh, that's right. Have they won like 8 in a row or something like that? Or
I don't know, but they're 9-3, I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah. They play well too. I'm a big Dan Campbell fan with the Detroit Lions. So the only bad thing with that is, so the offensive coordinator from the Lions is now the head coach with the Bears. I can't remember his name even. So and the Bears are playing well as far as statistics are better than Detroit. So it kind of makes Dan Campbell not look so great. Like, okay, are you that great of a coach, or is it because of the other guys?
So I'm gonna take his side on this. He's a good coach because he knew the right people to bring in.
Yes. Yep. Very good point.
And unfortunately, when you do that, they go elsewhere because other
definitely. Yeah. And Detroit, I guess the good side of it is, so Detroit's viewed as now every time a team plays Detroit, they are ready to play because they view Detroit as one of the top teams in the league. So
football is unique in the sense that there's a bazillion coaches, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking Boomer. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, from my vantage point, you don't have one strength coach. You got like a head strength coach, and there's like 3 or 4 guys under him.
Right. Boomer Esiason, our buddy there, was talking this morning about how important, probably more than other sports, like the head coach of an NFL football team is so important, right? Because he sets the tempo for everything, the attitude to the team. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like the coach in football is managing his coaches like a hockey coach manages players.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. That's the NHL is kind of changed. It has changed that way too, where the head coach becomes more of a manager because they have so many individual coaches now, right? Skills coaches,
and special teams and offense, linemen, skill guys, strength. lot.
our boy Danny Erickson. So Adam Fox with the New York Rangers. So he was like, isn't he leading the team at points or whatever? He's right up there, anyways.
Yeah, he kind of.
So he got hurt, and they put him on long-term IR, injury reserve, which means he has to miss at least 10 games and/or 24 days.
Right.
So that means, and that's the minimum. So that, and I tell you, you and I have both been this. We've been critical of his defensive play, but offensively, man, he's
always had that ability to see the ice really well, and make great plays. Defensively, he's a little small, and his skating isn't tremendous. But he's a tremendous player on the offensive side of the puck.
Yeah. Michael Elwood found some guy at Facebook Marketplace selling a 1990 score Tom scarf, $75.
Oh, come on! He's giving it away.
There should be another zero on that, right? Is that a mistake? Like,
there should be 2 more zeros on it.
I still find it funny to that people want to. It's an honor. I just, it's like we like hockey players are like that. Like somebody wants to pay for my autograph, for God's sakes, yeah.
Well, you played a long time, and you were a big part here in New York Rangers for sure. Everybody knows who Tom Laidlaw is. When you know what I mean? When I talk to people.
Yeah, you know who I am? I'm like Mark Puttenvick's like little buddy is what I am. Yeah. That's who I am.
Like Abbott and Costello.
There you go. I was in Milwaukee on Friday since ball game, and I walked in the neighborhood with my Bears hat and sweatshirt. See the Cheeseheads. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Cheeseheads. Did the Cheeseheads win? Did they on the weekend?
Didn't they play?
They played Thursday night. They played on Thanksgiving.
Thursday, and they beat the Lions. Yeah.
That's right, too. Yeah. In Detroit, too. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I forgot we missed Thanksgiving. Yes. Yeah. How did you guys have a little get together there?
Yeah. So we stayed home. I made steak. Made prime ribs.
Oh, nice.
And then we went over to Nathan's. All the coaches were there, and by the time I got there, they were already playing cards and about 60 beers into it.
Oh,
I had some real Canadians here, Jeff Paul. And,
no kidding, right? That used to be the thing.
Cards, and it was
that's why everybody thinks Thanksgiving is the best holiday, right? It's like there's no presents involved. Eat a lot of food, drink a lot of booze, watch football. Everything's good.
And it was funny because Aaron Spilo, who played mostly, he was here in New Jersey. Played in New Jersey, and I guess his agent got into a fight with Lou, and that never worked out well for your career. But he had a really good career over in Europe, and he ended up at the end of his career playing in Russia with Nathan. So I walked in, and the guys were so intent on the card game. He said, "Mark's here, guys. We're a team." Like, he really was trying to make it kind of.
Let's go. Very cool.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Okay, so right off the bat here, it's the 1st of December, new month. So Susan doesn't wait; she just like jumps in. I'll do a little explanation here. So back when I did a podcast with Kevin Allen, I had made a comment that when a player, an elite player, got hurt, sometimes the team would play better.
Very often.
See, you understand that logic. So now Susan, and her infinite wisdom, has decided to now assume that every time a player gets hurt, Tom's going to say, now the team's going to be better.
Yeah.
So Adam Fox gets hurt. So now, and clearly Susan is doing it. I don't know why she would do it to me, but she's doing it to stir the pot, right? I don't know why, but
it's not. It's a statement. It's an observation. Again,
it's an observation. You're right. Yeah. So, so yes, I'm going to say for a period of time now, but they're obviously going to be less effective on the power play. Mm-hmm. But again, he is not the best defensive player. So maybe here's my prediction on this. Okay. Braden Schneider will now get more. There you go. Yes. We get more opportunities, and we're going to see him play better hockey. So,
and he has an offensive upside. He's still a kid. So maybe on the power play, he'll get more minutes.
Yep, definitely. And I think he's, and I went through this. I've talked about this before. Like when Barry Beck went out of the lineup, I felt like, so now I have more of a responsibility. I need to be more aggressive carrying the puck. And I hope, and again, I don't think Schneider's playing bad at all. I just think he's got more, like you said, more of an upside to him.
So as a player, and you went through this too, especially as a younger player, I tend to think, not all the time, but sometimes your progression can be hindered by multiple coach changes.
Oh yeah, totally. Yep, absolutely. No, I agree with that. I look back and go, it's more like, hold on, we'll get into that more like that. Again, we are contractually obligated that when Susan writes a comment, we have to put it up there. I understand that Port's Louis, but I don't need Emily Kaplan reporting that Fox should be available for them. I know.
Yeah, I agree, Susan. Yeah.
That's the part where, like, if I'm a fan, like Susan is of the New York Rangers, and the player gets hurt, and his focus is, I need to get back for the Olympics. I'm going, well, no, you need to get back for the Rangers.
What's your opinion on the Olympic break during the season? I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
Disruptive.
I don't think it does anything to promote the game either. I don't think, like, the average fan who watches the Olympics and enjoys the Olympics, I don't think it relates to them saying, okay, now I'm going to go home and watch NHL hockey. First of all, it's different hockey. So
I like the old days when it was amateurs. You know, it was
yeah,
kids.
totally.
Because you got for 2 weeks to follow a team, because
Yeah.
whether it's Canada, United States, or wherever,
Yeah.
of a bunch of kids, and the Soviets were professionals, so
Yeah.
it added that element to it. And like your basketball, really?
I know. And I love when they do those little vignettes too of the players, like where you don't know this guy, right?
Yeah.
So you find out he grew up on a farm in the Midwest,
Right.
whatever. Now he's the
And
work
then
he's
some of
done.
them make it to the NHL. Like I'm sure you remember the kid Steve Jensen that played for the
Yeah.
Dallas Stars. Yeah, so it's interesting now.
Yeah.
You have for that type of tournament, because that's all it really is.
Right.
You have that the World Cup every
Yeah.
couple
Yeah,
of years.
totally. And then they have the Four Nations, which obviously is
Four
Four
Nations
Nations.
now has
Right.
replaced the World Cup,
Yeah.
which was
Um,
great.
Yeah, oh yeah, really good too. Now, do you hear the arena apparently is not done? So the reporting is that there's no plan B. That
Where are the Olympics? The Winter
it's
Olympics?
Milan, Italy?
Oh,
Milan?
is it in Italy?
I think so, yeah. And again, they show some pictures, and the wall, like the exterior walls, aren't totally done yet. So it looked
I
like
give a new feel to the game.
I
I did one guy, I forget. You know what? Somebody, I forget who it was telling me he played in, I think it was Austria, but like right on the Italian border. It's gorgeous there. It's ski country.
Right.
And he said, why is that one end of the barn open? He said, well, they told him in case of an avalanche,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Interesting. So maybe that's why they're doing that.
could be. Yeah. Hold on. The great Barry Shelley, our veteran, a beautiful veteran out in Cooperstown, New York. Yes.
Yeah,
Mark.
Barry, I'll be here till probably May. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is till May? Wow.
Well, I mean, the season ends like March, and then we have tryouts in April, and
Oh.
and Beth is going to run a couple of races out here. So
Oh, nice. So she's settled in and really happy. I mean,
she loves it here.
Oh.
Yeah.
would you guys ever move there?
You know what? Other than friends and family,
Yeah. Yeah.
really no reason to go back to New Jersey.
I know.
Really,
Right.
We were discussing that last night. Like, it's just so beautiful here. It's a different pace of life.
Right.
Excuse me. And Jersey right now, New York metropolitan area, it's just tough. It's tough to live there.
Yeah.
With the politics and everything else.
Oh, I know. Yeah, this whole. Just wanted to spread your wisdom. See, okay, all right. So, I mean, as long as that statement is a legitimate statement, I mean, she's just not messing around.
Well, I mean, so there's two sides to the coin. You don't want your best player out, obviously, but that's like when you said, coach comes in, hey guys, look, Foxy's out for a period of time. We all got to just pick it up a bit,
Right.
And that means, forwards, you got to be responsible. We need 5 back. All that kind of coaching stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it made tighten things up. They played at home Sunday, I think it was, or Sunday or Monday. Or Sunday, yeah, Sunday.
What
Yeah, that was bad.
brutal again.
Well, I'll tell you one of the most telling things, the post-game press conference, when Sullivan got up and spoke, the coach.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. And they started asking me like some technical issues, and he was very blunt. He says, listen, we need to work on our compete level. And all the other X's and O's don't matter.
I won't say it was a guy by the name of JT Miller, but that was the game winner, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, what? He missed he was a bit lazy again?
Oh, yeah, I sent you the video. He went in, kind of floated around a bit, and then he goes for a change when the puck's in his end in his second period. So you got that long, it's different if your bench is there, somebody can hop on, but
I know.
It was
He
not a
has,
good look.
and there's a lot of focus on him, unfortunately for him too. Now, captain the team.
More the reason not to
Yeah.
compete. You got to
Yeah.
keep your feet
I
moving.
know. I know.
I don't know if it's a brain lock or what it is. But
Yeah, he's had those moments where, like, listen, he's a great player
no
and a
question.
competitive, but he has those moments where he just kind of shuts it down, right?
Yeah,
Where,
and kind of like gives up on it.
I know that's the bad sign. And then when that happens to your captain, I mean, that's like the young kids on the team are like, okay, is this the way things are supposed to be here? I don't know. So,
yeah, and if you're a young player, you look at that and you go, what's going on here?
right.
This guy's a veteran.
All right, let's see here, Barry. And listen, we can go to Barry, and we can feel pretty comfortable that Barry is just a bipartisan viewpoint, right?
Barry is the rudder that keeps this ship straight.
Moral compass, right?
Yeah, moral compass is a better description.
And she calls, and he's saying it like he feels that Susan is basically a disturber.
Right.
Right.
My Jets. I don't think my Jets are going to lose again. Yeah.
You know what?
The coach of the year.
Yeah, I know. They are. I mean, listen, you gotta admire them. They're playing harder. So yeah, especially after and I've seen it before too, where they traded away some of those star players, and now they play better.
So maybe again, it gives some kids that didn't get a chance to play to show what they could do.
Yep, totally. Right. All right. Let's get into a little debate here. I think many of these injuries are a result of a condensed schedule. Susan. Well, okay. I mean, it depends. And you're right. She did say many. It doesn't mean all of them are. But like a Fox, apparently, it looked like he got hit. I don't think that's like a being tired kind of injury. You know, I believe, and I want to hear your view on this, Mark. Mm-hmm. I think that there's the psychological part of it, that we tell the athletes over and over that, okay, you're playing more games, you're going to be more tired. Now they start to believe, okay, I guess I'm tired. Everybody's telling me I'm supposed to be tired. Like the whole thing about Shesterkin, now Quick has been hurt and net. So Shesterkin has played back-to-back games, which he hasn't done in a while. And he played fantastic. I just think so much is that, okay, if we tell them over and over that the reason maybe they get hurt or they don't play as well in the second night of back-to-back games is because of fatigue, I just don't buy that. I think they're...
Yeah, I think it can play into it. But I also think that removing the red line, right? Guys can come in 120 miles an hour on the forecheck.
Right.
Well, we didn't have that back when we had a red line.
Yeah.
I also think, right? So you could really wallpaper people. And Fox isn't the biggest of guys. I mean, back when you played, he may have been a forward.
Yeah. And especially, he's not a great, like Rare Rusalena was small, but he was fast, right?
Skate.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying Fox can't skate. He's in the NHL. He's obviously a skater.
Yeah.
But I think so. There's contributing factors. I think the schedule's part of it. I think the red line being gone. I don't even know if people today even remember what a red line was like.
I know. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, you were taught to hook and all these things that you used to do. And so I think that's part of it. It's funny. Like when I got interviewed by Glenn Sather about, he said, why did New Jersey have so many fewer man loss? I said, well, part of it's luck. If I get hurt in the second game of the season and I'm out for the season, I'm missing X amount of games.
Right.
If I get hurt if there's 5 games left, I'm only missing 5 games. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful how you look at that. You know? People get hurt, but I don't think I think it's a bunch of different things. I don't think it's the schedule only. It certainly contributes to it. But when I was there, it was an Olympic year. We played every other night. We had a game, and nobody got hurt.
I know. And do you think some of it is too? It's a cultural thing that, listen, injuries happen. Yeah. Sometimes the fans and nobody ever finds out about the injuries. The guy just plays through the injuries. So it isn't always, you don't always know when a guy's hurt, right?
Yeah, of course. And it also depends where is the injury. So, and they don't tell us that. So upper body injury, what does that mean? If it's a concussion, can't play. If it's a shoulder, it's tough to play with a bad shoulder if you're going to shoot the puck and all that kind of
right.
So, it makes it difficult.
Yeah. No, it does.
But I'll tell you what, if I look at our blue line back when I was there, they were all big guys. Malakoff.
Oh.
Who else did we have? I mean, the only smallish guy was Brian Leach.
And he really wasn't that small, but yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was 185 pounds, but
Yeah.
I don't think what's Fox 170 maybe.
I know, yeah. And like you said, and part of the great thing about his game is that he holds on to the puck, which is great because he's calm and everything. But now you're a target for a longer period of time.
Yeah, and, you know.
Yeah. Here's our buddy Luch. But again, this is one of my problems with JT Miller. Okay, so again, a lot of guys get hurt. So when he missed 2 games here recently, and then came back and played. And somebody asked him how he was doing. So, well, I can adjust to certain things I can't do out there. I'd rather the leader just say, "I'm fine. Let's go play." Right? That's my the whole. It seems like there's a whole drama thing, and it's not just the Rangers, but I mean, you go back to last year with all the drama, and now they go out and they win 2 games on the road against 2 pretty good teams. Now, again, there's some injuries with those teams, but they still had to play. And in Boston, their power play was fantastic, and they won 6-2. Then they come home and they get outshot like 34-10 or something like that. It's like,
I just think the players in general. And I'm not going to picture something. But it wasn't too long ago. Who's the kid on Boston in the playoffs that had a broken leg and stayed on a penalty kill with a broken leg blocking shots?
Yeah, I know.
I forget who it was. But
yeah, it was Colin Campbell's son.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I'm a huge Daniel Jones fan. He used to be the Giants quarterback. He's in Indianapolis now. Played with a broken bone in his leg, broken fibula or whatever it was. So
Bobby Braun. I mean, the most famous story. Bobby Braun played a whole playoff series with a broken leg.
Yeah. I played with broken hands my whole career. Yeah. My hands were broken.
That happened. Weren't you walking by like a construction site or something, and a bucket of cement fell over?
Fell into my gloves. Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. Funny stuff.
That's what we used to say. Like I didn't play football, but my friends did. And if a receiver dropped the pass, they go hit him in a weak spot. His hands.
Yeah, okay, I like this play too. If you saw it or not, it's terrible. This Palmieri, who I like with the Islanders, got hurt.
Yeah,
got up, was headed to the bench limping.
He got a helper.
Yeah, he was like held on to it and looked around, made sure he made a good pass, and they scored. That was pretty. And he's out for like 5 or 6 months, isn't he, too, or something? So
yeah, I mean, there's a guy that got an assist before he went off for surgery.
I know, that was cool. I tell you, the Islanders are playing well too. I like the way they're playing.
Their problem is they've never really had that goaltender.
Yeah, I know.
They've always had really competitive teams, even when Tavares was there, but they just didn't have that.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Edmonton Oilers. Let's discuss that. So Connor McDavid, I don't think there's any question, is the best player in the world. Those other players that are close, including his teammate Leon Draisaitl. So he's got this year left on his initial contract, signs another contract for 2 years at a big time discount, like $12.5 million, where he probably could have got 18, 19 million, whatever it is. And now they suck. And again, the goaltending continues to be an issue, and it has been. They probably, like, if you took Sergei Bobrovsky off Florida and put it on Edmonton the last 2 seasons, they win 2 cups, right? Right. Okay, so now, and I've heard people say, like, particularly up in the Canadian TV, well, geez, now he's screwed. He signed 2 more years. He's stuck there. I would argue the other way. I would assume, and again, totally assumption, that he has said to him, listen, I'll sign for 2 more years. I want to win a cup. You've got to get a team together to win a cup.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming part of what he said, which can't be part of the contract, obviously, if it doesn't look like that's going to happen, I'm going to want to get traded, right? Now, by signing that 2-year contract at a huge discount, if I'm another team, I'm going, okay, I get 2 years of Connor McDavid at $12.5 million a year. Right. What do you want? Like, I'll sell you this. I'll sell you the building. You can have the arena if you want. So I just heard that. And I go, I mean, he's doing them a favor again by saying, okay, now you're basically, now Leon Draisaitl is going to be sitting there going, well, I want out of here too. Like if
did he just refuse a trade, or was that just?
It was a couple of years ago to Tampa. It was Kucherov and somebody else for him, but I think it was more than a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
Did you hear the story about Kucherov?
What's that?
Kucherov?
No.
I forget who I was listening to. Apparently, he's a guy that, like, he's on the ice, like, so they win a Stanley Cup, he's out there the next day. One of those guys. Like, he just doesn't stop working.
Is that right? That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I tell you, there's some good NHL players that way, like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, all those guys. They're just like, and I'm really proud of that. Where it's, they take pride in being an NHL player, like the way they handle the media and speak and carry themselves and everything. Yeah.
Well, I was telling the kids the other night. I said, listen, a lot of people think, oh, it's God-given talent. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
And I was in my brief time with the Rangers, I was really fortunate. Brian Leach, Theo Fleury, Eric Lindros, Pavel Bure at the trade deadline. Mike Richter. They were the first on, last on.
Yeah.
Mike Richter used to come to me every morning. What do you have for me? Like, what are we doing before we hit the ice? Like with medicine ball, whatever. Every day. What do you have for me?
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you your opinion. So a young boy here, a neighbor of mine, a good young hockey player, the family's asked me to help train him. I think he's like must be 16 now because he just got his driver's license. Obviously busy with school, practice, games, and they're trying to find the time to train with him. And I said, listen, I don't think it's a problem training on a game day, even if you train properly. You agree with that?
Yeah. There's a lot of people in hockey in particular that believe, and I think a lot of NHL teams do it. There's nothing wrong with doing like a 20-minute light dumbbell workout game day because it fires up your nervous system and it just, you're not going to want to go in there and do a bunch of heavy squats and kill your legs. Yeah, totally. But this is another thing that there's a lot of misconception, and I can send to anybody who wants to see it. Stretching,
I know.
It doesn't exist. You cannot stretch a muscle. You have 2 insertion points, right? However, you can heat up and warm up a muscle.
Right.
And most injuries occur for 2 reasons. One is you're not properly warmed up, or there's a muscular imbalance, right? So what do people running? They always pull a hamstring.
Yeah. Very
common. Why? Because the quadriceps are 4 muscles. The hamstring is bicep femoris. It's 2. So you got 4 working against 2. So you have a muscular imbalance. Yeah. So to prevent hamstring or bicep femoris pulls or tears is to really focus your energy training so that you bring the strength level so it's even.
Interesting.
Same thing with low back injuries. Why? Because we all do crunches and crunches and crunches.
Sure.
Well, the thoracic cavity, that's a cavity between your abs and your low back, your abs get too strong, so they're pulling on that low back.
Right.
So you need to do more. So going back to stretching, some of it's ritual, like a lot of guys but I tell the youth players, and this is very important for youth players, give a 5-minute warm-up when you hit the ice for a game in travel hockey. 5 minutes. Hit the ice and skate. Don't pop a leg up on the wall or get on a knee and you're wasting time. You're not doing anything productive.
Really?
Get out there and skate. In addition to that, I'll do a video for you. I can send to you. You can send to whoever you want to. I have a complete a warm-up you can do in the locker room with all your gear on. That's going to get your skating muscles and your body and your nervous system fired up. You hit the ice for that 5-minute warm-up. You're already sweaty and you're ready to go.
Right.
Yeah. And again, the data shows over past 20 or 30 years that stretching in and of itself does nothing. Now you can.
But for a goaltender who wants to stretch out his groins,
not stretching, it's flexibility. It's the difference between stretching and flexibility.
Okay.
They need to work on their flexibility, but you work on that flexibility after you're sweaty and warmed up.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you understand the difference.
So stretching as a warm-up is a waste of time. Stretching to elongate the muscles like a groin for a goaltender
working on your flexibility. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I like that.
So
like even going back to the workouts before a game, like apparently Michael Jordan used to bench press all the time before every game he played. Like he'd work out wouldn't be a long time, but he
had a bet on it.
What?
He had a bet on it. But yeah, so it's a big misconception, and it's a problem in youth hockey because again, you get in general, it's like a 5-minute warm up when before the game.
Sure.
So really just get out there and skate, and you should be sweaty by the time you hit the ice.
Yeah. Got it. The last off, oh God, it's Susan. I thought maybe we'd get by one day without Susan talking about Chris Kreider, but apparently always staying on the ice at the end of practice to work on deflection. No.
I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, though.
Oh,
I
here
hate
we
to.
go.
I don't want to say this. I know it's going to really hurt Susan to say it, but the problem was his teammates didn't want to be hugging him all the time, especially when they're going into the shower and we're naked. So they required him to stay on the ice and work on his
Is
instead
that
of
what
being
it
there.
was? Yeah.
Yeah, hugging.
I think he was working on his redirects. I'll tell you a good story. So we had a 4-game and 5-night trip. I think we lost all 4. And on the bus ride back to the ride to get our cars, Ronnie Lowe, who's the head coach, said, "I don't want anybody at the rink tomorrow. Everybody's taking tomorrow off, right?"
Right.
So there's a couple kids that say, "Hey, Mark, are we skate?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be there." So it was like, 6 guys, and we went out and we did some in zone stuff for an hour. We're going off the ice. Who's standing there ready to come on was Eric Lindros. Even though he was told, "I don't want you at the rink," he was there. There was something he wanted. I forget what it was, but he wanted to work on. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. He, man, I watched an old video of Darius Kasparaitis hitting him and giving him a concussion where he could barely get off the ice.
Yeah.
Like, do you think, like in general, but more specifically with him, was he more susceptible to concussions?
100%. So each time you have a concussion, it makes it easier and easier for the next one. In fact, in any boxing, but particularly in pro boxing, we had a kid that we worked with, pro fighter, and he had a fight on ESPN down in Tampa. He got knocked out in the first round. They both threw a left hook at the same time. The other guys got there a little bit quicker. He fought like a couple months later in Philly. He got knocked out in the first round. We sat him down and said, "Joshy, you're done." All right. Because, and the same thing with Eric. We were in San Jose and we played the Sharks. We're flying to LA. And you could tell he was hurt because we get on a plane. He's got a towel over his head because you're supposed to get the brain quiet. And I said to Rammer, I said, "I didn't see it." He said, "I think it happened in practice." So every time you get a concussion, it makes it easier. And even
I'm not doubting you when I say this at all, but what's the rationale behind it? Like, why does it happen more often?
So what happens is a concussion occurs, so the brain is floating in a little bit of fluid. There's a little space in the cranium.
Right.
And what happens is your brain actually crashes to the side of your skull.
Right.
And that causes concussion-like symptoms. And it builds up. If you've seen MRIs of someone who's had CTE, you see a lot of damage. So what happens is you have more damaged tissue, more damaged area, meaning that each time you do that, it increases that damaged area. So you become more susceptible.
Gotcha.
And it may not be a direct hit to the head. It could be a shoulder check.
Yeah.
But your brain, in fact, it's a pretty gruesome thing, but Dale Earnhardt, if you see the video of him
losing his life,
accident, you see the car go into the wall straight on, and you say, "Well, what happened was the car stopped. His brain's still going 180 miles an hour."
Yeah, that's the misconception, right? People think that you have to get hit in the head for a concussion, where it's the brain bouncing off the skull.
Traveling,
Right. Yeah.
And that's why they have the protocol now in football and in hockey.
Yeah. I want to just one more thing. I want to touch on football, but you getting on Susan today. That's right. Well, I think in fairness, Barry, I think Susan started it right off the bat, right? 1st of December, some comment of, because I was going to make some comment about the team being better now because Adam Fox was not in the lineup, right? It was a subtle little dig that, and maybe I overreacted.
I think it's your presentation. I think what you should have said is, listen, in my experience, we all pull up our skates a little bit tighter when our star players
next man up, right? Next man up.
Yeah, we got a man up.
Yeah. Right, totally. Let me see here. Our great Danny Erickson here. What's he got to say? At least they shut the boxer down as opposed to, let's see. Oh, Jerry Corey, man.
Yeah, his brother had to dress him at the end.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah, he really suffered. Back then, no one even knew about CTE or concussion syndrome. And, and it became like the big palooka. Remember, what was the movie? Requiem for a Heavyweight?
Oh.
Anthony Quinn. I think it was, but in any event, yeah.
Right. Interesting. And unfortunately, we saw when was the shooting? That was right before Thanksgiving, right? The shooting in Washington, the National Guard shooting. And what they had, it was a CIA guy that had been working with the CIA, supposedly, Afghan.
So this guy was Afghan national who worked with United States Special Forces in Afghanistan. And Special Forces work very closely to the CIA. Listen, man, we go down a rabbit hole.
I know. You're right. I shouldn't even brought it up to me. I mean, I guess we send our condolences to the families, but
yeah,
I know. That's a good point by you. I think you and I are both the same way. And I don't mean to speak for you,
But you
but
can, because we both agree. Yeah.
yeah, I think I was not educated about politics very much. I stayed out of it. And now I tried to educate myself more. And I feel like the more I got educated, the more I realized I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, scary stuff. Mr. Brian Duffy, another veteran. We get some great veterans here too.
We do.
Air Force veteran here, Brian Duffy. Good man. And again, just to be sure too, so you guys understand, Brian played a huge role in the VA or VFW or
I believe the VFW, but
right. Yeah, played a huge role.
I
And
think
he,
he was the
I,
national president.
yeah, and I'd met this young man. I told his story, and he had lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. He was a veteran, Army veteran, and Brian stepped in and was huge in setting him up with a bunch of stuff. So kudos to him. He was went above and beyond. Didn't know the young man at all. Just was fantastic. So, yeah. What we got here? That's right too. I haven't heard about that. Philip Heedle. He got hurt. Yeah, he got hit in Philly. No, not Washington D.C. Right? Tom Wilson hit him with a. Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think he's done.
Yeah, I know.
And you just hope that it's not going to be a lifelong impact.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So we've got December 13th. We have a Ranger event. So they've got their 100th anniversary. So they're bringing in a bunch of guys that played in my era. Do you say era or era?
Could be either or. Either or.
Some guys like Ray Rutson, I believe. Ray Rutzelaine is coming in.
There.
Yep. Kelly
What's
Kissio, I think, is
now?
coming
Is
in.
he coaching over in Europe or
He's
anything?
coaching in Finland. Excuse me, in Flint, Michigan, actually. I didn't know that for the junior team there. Yeah.
Didn't his son play a little bit or something?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah. Ray Rutzelaine.
He would, and you got to remember too, for those that don't remember, he could rip it with a wooden stick.
Oh, yeah. One-timers. Oh, yeah.
My God, could he shoot the puck? And how big was he, Tom? I mean, he was small.
There was guys that could do one-timers. It wasn't like nobody did them, but he showed up. And a one-timer to him was just like his automatic. He was good, not just shoot it, but hit the net. Like sometimes I'd take a one-timer and miss the puck altogether.
Here's the interesting thing. There's a good show on now. It's Kelly Chase, Brett Hull, and Twister.
Yeah.
And Brett, I'll tell you a real quick story I watched last night. They're in LA, and his line wasn't up. It was like 30 seconds in the game, and it's tied up. And Sutter's the coach, and he puts his brother out, Rich Sutter.
Right.
Hull just hops on, and he tells Sutter, get off the ice. He's like, get off the ice. And I guess Brian Sutter was not too happy because, like, but anyway,
right.
Hull goes in and scores. He goes, we're not tying up in LA, meaning I got to get to the club.
Oh, that's
we
right.
got to win this game. I got to go to the club.
I've heard him tell that story.
But what Hull was saying is, like, with the new technology with the sticks, right?
Right.
And when you played, like, every team had like two guys, like Reggie Leach and maybe I'm thinking somebody else from the Flyers that could really rip it and really. He said it's the same thing now. Everybody could shoot it,
right?
But there's only two guys on a team that could place it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a great point. And Rutzelaine was the guy that could put it where he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the best, and I didn't realize it, but looking back now, I think Mike Bossy was the best when I played. Man, he was unbelievable.
He retired because he didn't score 50 goals.
I know.
Because I'm done.
I know.
What? He had like 38 or something.
So didn't he have like 9 years in a row where he had 50 goals? Is that what it was? Yeah. You know, it's funny looking back at old games, watching. It's funny. For some reason, when I played against him, I was like, he's not that good. And then I watch the games now. I go, he's scary. Like we could not give him any room at all. Like he was going to shoot.
Him, Teemu Selanne, would he have 73 goals his rookie year?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, those guys are amazing. Rick Middleton was like that. Joey Mullen was like that. Yeah.
I hate to say it. That was the worst trade ever.
What's that? The Middleton trade?
Oh.
What was that? Was that Ken Hodge?
Straight up for Kenny Hodge.
Oh.
And Hodge was like, what, 45 then?
I know.
And it was just because Espo wanted his buddy.
Yeah, that's right, too. Yeah. And I think there was some story. I thought Greshmus is something that, they were having fun back then. I think they tried to say that he was a bad influence, that Middleton was a bad influence on everybody else.
Please.
Bad influence. It is funny how people would say stories like, "Oh, you're in the city, you're going to get in trouble all the time. You're in LA, there's too much fun out there." Like it didn't matter if you're in St. Louis or where the heck
you're going to find trouble wherever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if there's beer and there's women around, you're going to get in trouble.
Rick Middleton was a tremendous player.
Yeah. I tell you, I've told this story. He's one of those guys where the puck, and I'm trying to think of some other guys recently, but the puck, you'd think you had him checked, and the puck would always end up on his stick.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself at first, he's just lucky. I mean, and then
Right.
you play against him for 10 years, and he's lucky every night. So it's
Yeah.
like you realize it's not luck. He was good. Good guy, too. We had him on. They called him, his nickname was Soki. So we did a podcast with him. He hesitated at first, didn't want to tell the story. I said, you got to tell it. Come on. I guess he was in a strip joint one night, and he was talking to some stripper, and pretty attractive, whatever, and really thought, okay, there's some relationship there. Come to find out, it was a male stripper.
So it could have been a relationship.
Yeah. So that became, I guess the stripper's name was Soki or whatever. So that became his nickname. Yeah. See, that's the great thing about hockey, right? You get a nickname based on a stripper. That's fantastic.
Yeah. What was your nickname? Tiffany?
Nah. They was Lades or it was Ledge. So my first year in the league, a reporter here did an article saying that I was a legend in my own time up at Northern Michigan University. So of course the old guys saw that, they go, "Oh, legend in your own time," like it was Ledge. So it is funny. Like I see some of the old guys, like I'll see Eddie Johnstone, and he'll call me Ledge, and everyone's like, "Ledge? What is that?" So some of the old guys are.
It was funny Thanksgiving around the table because we get Nathan Parrott and Jeff Paul. Between them in the minor leagues, they're probably 20,000 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were just talking, and Georgie McPhee's name came up.
Oh.
Because Nathan was playing for Chicago in that exhibition game and Jeff Paul, because Jeff Paul was there too, because he was playing in the cap system.
Right.
And he said that Dennis Savard, he said, I lost all respect for him because I guess when they got into it, Georgie's glasses came off.
Oh.
And Savard went up and stomped him. So Jeff Paul was like, I wanted to drift him right there. Like that's such a classless thing to do.
So people don't know George McPhee, pound for pound, one of the toughest people I've ever seen in my life, like a small little guy. And he started fighting. I played college against him, and I thought he was a little pest. And I was like, get away from me. And then he came to the pros, and I'm like, well, thank God I didn't fight him because he was scary. So now he retired from playing, became the general manager of the Washington Capitals. This was early in his career as a GM. So they're playing I guess they had a back-to-back against Chicago. Had a big brawl the first night, and apparently they all got together as general manager and coaches. Said, let's not have that again tonight, right? That's
exactly what the story was the other night.
Right. So Chicago either didn't get the memo or whatever, but it turned into another brawl. Yeah. So George, all by himself, I guess, went down to the Chicago locker room. Now, George, if you saw him just up in his suit, you'd think he was some like.
I just saw him last year in the NHL offices.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's my size.
He puts a suit on. Yeah. You would think there's no muscle whatsoever. This guy. So I guess they didn't realize who he was or whatever, and he went down and confronted the Chicago management, and a brawl ensued. Yeah. And they pretty quickly found out who George was.
Was it what's the guy's name? Lauren Milliken?
Yeah. I think Chicago had some of those old school kind of guys that was part of their makeup and everything. So Kevin Allen, who wrote with USA Today at the time, it became a public thing that everybody knew about this. So he knew I played with George. So he called me up and asked me for I was laughing. I said, I can tell you exactly what happened. Those guys thought they were going to just push George around. They had no idea who he was. Yeah. And I did say to him, I said, listen, George, I tell you right now, George was defending his team. He'll probably regret that it happened the way he did, but George called me up after. He goes, and I really didn't do it to try to defend him. I really just told the truth, but he called me up after. He says, thanks for saying that. Because his owner it was early in his career, and his owner, he was worried the owner was going to say, like, what kind of a guy did I hire? Right. So,
Yeah. He's an attorney as well, isn't he?
Yes. Oh, he's a smart dude. Yeah. So he was helping run a restaurant that Ron Greschner he had in the city. He went to law school during that time. He was an agent while I was an agent, at least got into it briefly, and then became assistant GM out in Vancouver, I think, with Brian Burke. Yeah, those guys, and then became GM. So he's a great story. Good guy. Yeah. He lacks, and I mean this as a total confident. He's one of those guys who lacks no confidence whatsoever, and borderline cocky. And I thought when they won the cup there in Vegas, I thought, oh God, you'll never be able to talk to George now. Went the opposite. I've talked to him, and he was so humble. It's almost like I don't know if he recognized. And when I say confident in a like it's like a way he needed to be. He's a smaller guy,
Yeah.
and really like when he walked in a room, he walked in with confidence, right? So again, I thought it would go too far, but no.
Well, no, it's funny you mentioned walking into a room. So Bobby Hoffmeyer,
Yep.
years ago, was a pro scout for the Devils, and we were talking, and he said, I think George was still playing then. He goes, like, you'd walk into a party or something, and like, there's a bunch of guys sitting around. This is the last guy you'd figure that would whip your ass. Yeah. I think I told you, we had a kid that played for this junior team I ran, Chase Vandervoort, right? Bucks County, PA. His family raised trotters, the horses.
Yeah.
And there were 3 boys. At that time, his older brother was playing in the East Coast, and both he and his brother played for us. So it comes to training camp, and we had kids coming in from all over. It was a kid from Edmonton. It was like 6'3", 240. And I'm sitting up top, and they get into it. And Chase just, brutalized this guy.
Right.
Chase is like 5'9", $160.
Oh, okay.
So I go in the locker room, looking at him. And then I realized his hands were like this big, and his jaw was like that.
Yeah.
And the story, and then one of the kids goes, "Oh yeah, he put a guy in a coma when he was 12 years old."
Oh, is that right?
And I said, "Chase, is that true?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "What happened?" It was on a bus stop. I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, he was talking ignorant." I said, "Get this kid a contract signed."
Yeah, I know, right?
But the story was there were 3 boys in the family. The mother would only put out 2 dinner plates.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's funny. Okay, I got another health question for you. So I've got this, and I've talked to a few people. I don't say we're getting older; we're getting more experienced as time goes on. Yeah. And so knee issues.
Yeah.
Here, my take on knee issues is that obviously there's wear and tear over time and all that kind of stuff. But part of it is if we stop working out. And you mentioned before, both our quad muscles and our hamstring muscles. Now your knee, it's just your knee joint that is taking all the stress. Is that accurate?
Well, it's a combination of things. Just life in general, you're going to get some arthritis, right? And if you've had surgeries or you played a sport where there was a lot of multi-directional activity, which is just about every sport, you're going to have more arthritis than someone who did.
Right.
Now, I woke up, I don't know, it was a week or so ago. I was like, oh my God, I can't walk. I think it may be because the barometric pressure dropped here, and it's very dry here as well. So for a day, I was really kind of limping around. My left knee, I had exploded my ACL, my anterior cruciate ligament, and I had they didn't have arthroscopic. It was 84.
Hold on, can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah.
You've used a few big words here today. It just, again, it's getting me just totally turned on. Like, just,
okay. Only human.
Human. All right. You can go ahead.
Continue. So your ACL is like an X, right? So it's in the front of your knee. The most important ligament you have.
Right.
And what happened was I went to touch up on the icing, and I had a big guy like you in between me and the wall, and my skate kind of got stuck. When he popped off the wall, the top half of my leg shifted and the bottom stayed still.
Right.
In any event, I had back then they just they take a big piece out and they strap it and screw in there. So I've been very lucky with it. But so anyhow, it flared up. So the key to preventing any type of knee injury in particular, and also it gets back to your bicep femoris, your hamstring, because what it does, it helps track the patella, the kneecap.
Right.
Keeps it in line. Right.
Yes.
And so it works with your ligaments. It's really important that you do a lot. I always tell guys you should do probably more hamstring, like 70% hamstring stuff compared to quads.
So just in general, though, maintaining the muscle structure around your knee will help eliminate pain because it holds that knee together. Is that
right? One of the other important muscles, and it's a part of your quadricep, is your VMO, your vastus medialis oblique.
Oh God.
The teardrop. You know when you see the teardrop, especially in sprinters, you see that big teardrop. That's another muscle that's really important.
Gotcha.
In maintaining that stability with the ligaments. Yeah. So it's for older people or more experienced people.
Right.
In fact, there's a lot of studies that show leg strength can predict longevity.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, yeah. Right.
Grip strength and leg strength.
Right. Okay. So for people that are getting more experience and they have some knee pain, don't be like some people say, geez, I don't want to do anything because it's going to get worse. You've obviously got to be careful, but you don't want to do nothing because now that actually makes it worse because now there's no muscle there.
Being sedentary is another predictor of death. But increase the blood flow,
right?
Whether it's applying some heat like I did, right? there's times you want to, if it's an injury, you want to ice it. If it's like an arthritic kind of condition, you want to put heat on it.
Right.
But
I think this goes for your whole body as you're getting older, but particularly your knees. Like, again, don't feel like, okay, I don't want to do anything because I'm going to get sore. You've got to do things, but do it properly, right? Like, don't feel like you have to lift 1,000 pounds or whatever. Just
those days are long gone for guys like you and I that are older.
Hey.
So now you only deadlift like 500 now, right?
I was in the gym. So at my gym where I'm at, it's a smaller gym. They've got the assisted rack there, the universal, what do they call that? Smith machine. Yeah. So doing deadlifts is a little bit more awkward. So I try to simulate. They've got one of those boxes that you jump on, and it's pretty heavy, right? And it's a decent size, so it's awkward. So I'm trying to simulate like carrying, like doing the farmer's carry with some really. So I picked the box up. So here I am carrying this box around, and we've got some really nice people. It's not that big of a space. And they see me carrying the box around and looking like, and I'm like, they're like,
what? Do you ever find yourself alone in the gym now?
Yeah. It is true.
So here's what you can do. Yeah. So the Russian box squats. So you take two plyo boxes that are the same size.
Yeah.
Same height, I should say. And take a dumbbell. You hold it like this, okay? And you just hang it between your legs.
Yeah.
And now when you do a squat, because of you're up and you have this gap here, the dumbbell can go way below, and it's a safer way of doing your deadlifts.
Sure.
See, the problem with the Smith machine is straight up and down.
Yeah.
When you're doing a deadlift, the bar does not travel that way. Right?
Yeah.
It'll be an arc.
So the Smith, and you're right, the Smith machine has a little bit of movement, but it's not like a free bar.
Yeah, the Smith machine. I'm not a big Smith machine proponent because we don't lift straight up and down. Even a bench press is a curve, right? So you start here, it comes up.
Yeah, you're right. This one, and I know you've seen it, has that ability to go both back and forth and up and down, but again, not in the same motion necessarily.
Yeah. And we don't live in a closed chain environment. We live in an open chain environment.
You should. They should lock you away a little bit more, like not in a bad way, but it's more like to contain the greatness, like to siphon off the greatness.
Beth may say it's for a different reason to contain me, but yeah. So and this is another thing too. Like when you train for sport or you train for life or for military stuff. So I tell people, instead of just doing a forward lunge or reverse lunge, do them on angles, because what happens if you are bringing that box into the house and you lose a step and you're going off on a weird angle, you want that.
That's and to your point, I try to get a couple of days a week where I'm doing exercises that simulate me living life, like picking up groceries and stuff like that's like carrying the box around. I think it's so it simulates, they do lift up heavier stuff.
Well, it's interesting. I read this article years ago. It was in National Geographic, and it was an article about people who live to 100 years of age or more. Right. And it was Sardinia, which is a small island off of Italy. And the thinking there was because they showed a guy in his 70s holding holding a pig like this, meaning that they're lifting weights, but it's part of their daily lifestyle. Yep. And they're eating from the ground.
Yeah, I know.
As opposed, man, I'll tell you, the more stuff you see about, look at an ingredient when it says emulsifier. You know what emulsifiers are?
What?
It's like oil out of your car.
Oh, I know. I watched the video of so they said McDonald's sells 6.3 million did you see this? Well, maybe you sent it to me.
No, I saw it. Yeah. 6.3
million hamburgers a day. Right. And then they said, okay, where are all the cows coming from? Right. Because they factored in so that's 18 billion or whatever it was every month. They said, where are the cows? So we don't have that many cows in the world to make all those hamburgers. So it's artificial meat that we're.
Well, it's artificial meat, and it's also like chicken nugget. It's grizzle. It's blunt. It's nasty.
They grind it all up, and
it's basically what falls on the floor to make chicken nuggets out.
There's that other great video. We may have touched on it last week where a woman was saying, okay, let me get this straight. They make it Ozempic, she was talking about. They're making a drug. So now we eat foods that are totally poison for us to get us sick. And now they make another drug to get us to not eat those foods. Why not just make those foods better instead of the
whole history of the Rockefeller when he
all the oil products and all that kind of stuff.
Kellogg. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why we're eating cornflakes for breakfast.
I know.
It's the most nutritionally
It's all marketing, right? Did you read about like it was it Freud's cousin or something like that or whatever that came up? Can't remember the guy's name. There's a
What's
name.
his name? It starts with a B.
Yeah, yeah. So he was a
So
marketing genius. So he was represented by people who sold sausage and eggs and everything.
right.
They said, "We want you to now sell to the American public that they should have that for breakfast." So that's why we eat sausage and eggs for breakfast. Yeah.
So if you look at the Sackler family, who made all their money with OxyContin, they
Oh.
killed all these people. They made their money. So the one brother, there were two brothers. I forget which one it was, but he was the one who came up with the idea. Let's advertise pharmaceuticals on television.
Yeah.
I think there's only one other country on the planet that
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Prior to, and I'm not blaming Ronald Reagan for this, but prior to Ronald Reagan,
well, I don't blame
we
him
were-
if he did
we
it.
weren't- yeah, it wasn't allowed. And it was, I guess, apparently to your point, it was the doctors that were running the pharmaceutical companies. And then this guy came along,
Oh, it's
said,
so
"No, yeah, we need to advertise."
I watched a documentary a while back on sugar, right?
Yeah,
So there were two reports. One was in Europe, which said that it's sugar that's causing cardiovascular disease and cancer.
right.
And then somebody wrote a paper here saying, no, it's saturated fat. So that's what we stuck to. We went to this. Remember that Beth and I were trying to remember, but there were cookies out a while back, like in the 90s, that were Snackwells, I think they were called.
Yeah.
Fat free. They didn't tell you like 80 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a big seller back then.
Oh yeah, totally. No,
And
I
now
know.
we know.
You and I could get going forever on that. We should have a whole show on all the.
It's
this
unbelievable. Now we know that fat's not the problem. It's sugar.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So Carter Hart, great point here. So Carter Hart, people that don't know, is a goaltender. Used to play for the Philadelphia Flyers. When he was playing for Canada in the World Junior Tournament, it became a big story up in Canada for people that don't know. After the tournament, there was like 5 guys. They were in London for some celebration.
The
London,
Devils had
Ontario.
2 players, Mike McLeod and
Yeah. So they had some young girl up to the room, and story, obviously, it's one of those things. So they were never acquitted criminally of any crime. It was sexual assault.
correct.
But the league initially, I guess they basically said there was so much information there that although they couldn't criminally, it was just they were all like kind of technicalities in Canada why they never really got charged. But there's enough evidence to think, listen, these guys did some bad stuff to this girl. So they were initially banned, even when they were not acquitted and they were released. They were banned by the NHL. So the NHL kind of said, okay, but there's a period of time, I think it was like 6 months or whatever, had to go by. So I think this Carter Hart's the only one that's of the group that's been signed by an NHL team now. Is that correct? I think.
I don't want to speak out of school, but that's the one I've heard of. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's going to, I guess I didn't know this, but to Susan's point, going to get his first start with Vegas. And he was like a highly recruited, or not recruited, highly regarded young goaltender. Like he was going to be Philly's #1 goalie for the foreseeable future. So I don't know. It's Vegas, so you wonder how many people in Vegas even know the story about him. But
well, I guess part of me says, look, they were acquitted.
Yeah.
Go by that. Then the other part of me says, there's a lot of smoke. There's usually fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be really careful with this stuff. Let's not forget about the Duke lacrosse players.
Oh yeah, totally.
And that girl totally made up that story. No,
Yeah.
It's not apples to apples because she was a person of ill repute.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But these things are.
Oh, totally.
Like,
that's why it's so scary, because you're right. On one side, you want to protect the rights of the accused.
Right.
Like in those cases with the Duke players, they did nothing wrong. It was found out later on.
Their lives were ruined.
Yeah.
Totally ruined.
Like now, I mean, if you look them up on the internet, they're still, that's what you see about them, right? But then the other side of it is you're saying the person who, the accuser, they've got their rights too. Like if it's true, then this is terrible stuff.
I think
like that's why the whole Epstein thing drives me nuts too, because there's all these girls out there
that's another thing.
Yeah.
There's very powerful people protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Well, going back to this particular situation, maybe the lesson learned for any player now is don't put yourself in that position.
I know.
Real simple. Just don't put, because whether it happens or not, you're still really exposing yourself to something
Yeah.
really go sideways.
And you know what you learn too as you get older, that listen, if it's okay, so from a man's standpoint, if it's a young girl, I know it's hard when you're younger to understand. You and I understand it now, is that we have a responsibility as men to protect the young girls,
Absolutely.
right? And even if they consent to something, but they're young and they're impressionable and they're with a bunch of young hockey players, you got to step up and say, okay, guys, okay, yes, she's
cool.
not. Yeah, it's just you can't do this
It's
stuff.
not good.
Yeah.
Because
So.
you know.
I think what we forget, not to be critical, but I was fortunate in a strange way to go through the whole Sheldon Kennedy thing. Now, prior to that, I had no knowledge whatsoever of what any kind of abuse did to young people.
We were all very naive.
Right. Because I went through that, I came to realize it's just not the physical act; it's the emotional damage that's done over a long period of time. So,
I think now, like, it's so different now, Tom. Right? Like, these kids have hockey advisors.
Yeah.
Even if they're not going to go anywhere, and like, I think there's more awareness of.
Yeah.
You know what could potentially happen, especially with social media now.
Yeah.
And everything, we know about stuff instantly.
Yeah.
First, we know about it instantly. So
Yeah.
if it's something bad, whether you're innocent or guilty, you're going to be guilty in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So don't put yourself in a situation where there's that potential of this type of thing happening.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. You know?
Yeah, I know. And you're totally 1000% correct. It's just when you're a young guy, you
young
think
and dumb.
Yeah, you think you're invincible. Oh, nothing's going to happen to me. Mentality. Well, not only does it happen to you, but it happens to the person that you're with too. So yeah, that is a sad part. What else was I going to talk to you about? Yeah, you know what? I think we should make a pact now. Like, try our best to not even discuss anything political at all. Anyway, it's like,
well, there's nothing to discuss anymore.
I know it's
Because,
great. It damages your brain.
Yeah, real. And one good thing that Beth said about living here is I'm not watching any of that stuff on TV anymore.
Good. Yeah. Isn't that true? It's amazing though, right? It's a great point by you that you and I and a lot of people, we're so health conscious. So the physical, we eat, the proper foods, we work out and all that. Mental health, as we know, is probably even more important than our physical health. But unfortunately, we subject ourselves sometimes to watching this garbage that goes into our brain, and it does nothing for us, right?
It just comes to the point where I have no influence on it. And in my day-to-day life, it's really not influencing.
Totally.
I have a family member who is a cousin and just completely out of her mind about Trump.
Oh, in a good way or bad way?
To the point where she's losing a relationship with somebody else in the family. And it's like, what? You're never going to meet the man.
I know.
He has no impact on your day-to-day life unless
you
choose it to be this.
Yeah.
Like, let it go.
I know.
He's gone in 3 years. All right.
Yeah, I know. And I think if people really did their homework too and look like what's really going on behind the scenes, like what's the rationale, then they realize they're all like, why am I, like you said, I can't do anything about it anyway. So yeah.
Donald Trump will have absolutely no impact on my life today.
I know.
Nor will Joe Biden or any of the other politicians.
Yeah, totally. And that's a great point. So one of the things I've learned to the whole mental health thing is that like people say, well, somebody's done something to me.
Right.
I have learned to say, listen, people do things. Whether they do it to you or not is really up to you to decide. If you let it affect you, then they've done something to you. If you just don't let it affect you, then
and I've mentioned this guy before, Lee Morrison. He's a combatives instructor in Great Britain. Besides being really good at what he does in terms of self-preservation skills, really smart guy, right? Street guy, but really smart. And he says, don't let people treat you how they want to treat you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's amazing, Mark. Like that, since I've learned a lot, and you've helped me learn a lot too, psychologically, mental health, and all that kind of stuff. Since I've got past that like standard way of looking at life, and just said, okay, just because we've been told that this is the way we look at things all the time, doesn't mean you have to do that. Like step back, and you realize, and I continue to use this analogy, but it's the old sun rising and sun setting thing. Well, we're told this all the time, and it's just not true. Right. The sun doesn't rise to set, our view of it. And once you start getting that mentality that, okay, I don't have to listen to everybody else because just because they say it
Yeah.
doesn't mean I have to listen to it. So yeah.
There's in fact, I'm using it to prop up the screen today. Rhonda Viteri, I don't know if you remember Rhonda. She,
Yeah, we did the show with her, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
she wrote a book called Grit and Grind, and let me grab a copy just a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me grab this one real quick. So, here it is. And Grit and Grind. I'll slow it down a little.
So she knew I was doing True Grit Life, so she took my.
She did.
That's like copyright.
There's a chapter in there about you, actually.
Yeah.
But in any event, great book because it deals with just what we're talking about. Like,
right.
Just setting goals and she does a lot of races. She's done, I forget, 150 different types of
I remember
marathons and triathlons, and she even ran 55 miles or does every year in the Serengeti for schoolgirls in Tanzania, I think.
Right.
And in the book, she says, I've armed guys because we run through the set. She goes, I see a pride of lions, and I'm thinking, don't think I'm lunch, as she's running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a step-by-step process that she lays out, of just really how we can attain goals. And she's done, I think, 23 some odd mergers and acquisitions. I mean, she's a heavyweight in business. She's on Fox Business quite frequently.
Right.
One of the most down-to-earth, beautiful people you'll ever meet. And one of the things she mentions is she lays out mentorship programs, right? Mm-hmm. Which are really important in business and just in sports, whatever it is, to find a mentor, right? And she was telling us an example where you're going to see your mentor and you get to the car and you realize, I left the house keys, and you got to go back in now. You're running 10 minutes late, and now you're stressing yourself out. You get there, you're not really focused because now you're all jacked up. Scenario 2 is same thing happens. You show up late, but you tell your mentor why you're late, and you share a story of how, that happened to me as well.
Right.
So it's two different perspectives of how to handle stress or something now, because your days are not going to go perfect.
Right.
It's how you react to it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. I want to make sure I got this up on the screen there from William. My granddaughter asked if she'd be a goaltender. She can 100% be a goaltender. Yes.
Yeah, but guess what it is? $5,000 to $8,000 for equipment now.
I know. There's a lot of good places where you can buy used equipment too, though.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so William, to your question, absolutely. Girls hockey is fantastic, and I find the girls are more intelligent than the young boys, mm-hmm. and I think they learn more. Obviously, marketing. Part of the reason we coach is it's not just the hockey; it's the life lessons the kids get. Goaltending is a fantastic thing. My son went through it where he wasn't a great athlete, but because he worked so hard at it, he was good. So it's the same thing with your granddaughter. I think it's a fantastic thing that she can be a goaltender and learn, especially as a young girl, to say I can be as good as anybody, right? And kind of goes to what they're talking about with mental health, like that whole mentality where we get told so much about what we can't do, right? Or here's the box you've got to live in, all this kinds of stuff, and it's just there's so much more out there.
I'll see if I can get him on for a brief period. There's a Navy SEAL, former SEAL, that reached out to me through Bill Brown, who has set up a program. I think he's in Texas, mm-hmm. where they get equipment for kids that can't afford it.
Oh, yeah, cool, nice.
So let me get a hold of him. Maybe we can get him on, and he could just do a little quick presentation.
We got a lot of stuff to do, so the lottery is tonight, and I'm winning that. You know one thing? Okay, joking around about that a little bit. Manifestation. So I've been reading also to go beyond manifestation. Just don't think that it's going to happen. Make it happen. It's that whole. I guess that is manifestation, but it's kind of go to the next level kind of thing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
At what age did you decide, talking to yourself, I'm going to be in the NHL?
It's great. I knew you were going to ask that, and I've thought about this so many times. 6 years old.
Yeah. So Gordie Howe was signing autographs when he was 9. His mother's like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the NHL."
Yeah, totally.
And Beth and I were discussing this the other night. Yeah, it's like you just make your mind up.
Yeah, totally. Bart, incredible you say that, because I got to tell you, and I put a lot of thought into this. I don't ever remember a time in my life where I thought I was not going to play in the NHL. It was weird. I think back, and my parents were
But it's
not.
not weird.
You're right. You're right. It's not weird. Yep.
So a good friend of mine, Scott Frank, who was a heavyweight fighter, professional, fought Larry Holmes, and Joe Greer, who I worked with, a trainer,
Right.
tremendous trainer, took Scott over to Europe. So it was in the 70s, and like Scott got called in because the heavyweight got cut. He couldn't fight.
Right.
And Scott was 16, and he's going in to fight a guy who won the silver medal in the 72 games. This guy was like 30. And like people were like, Joe, you're going to put this kid in there? So Joe is wrapping Scott's hands, and Scott looks at him and says, you're not stopping me. The ref's not stopping me. No one's stopping me. And guess what?
He won. Yeah. I think maybe I haven't told this story in a while, but one of my teammates, Doug Harris, great guy. We've lost him. He passed away a few years ago, but really intelligent guy, good player and everything. But we just started the hockey program at Northern Michigan, and we're just sitting around the dorms one day chatting about things. And he just said, like in a casual way, and we really didn't know each other that well at the time. He says, well, Tom, nobody from here is ever going to play in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my mind. I remember thinking, I said, don't you ever say that to me again. I'm playing. That's it. And like to the point where he's looking at me, okay, I just made a comment. And it's funny though, right? Like you think about it. Here's the thing that I thought was interesting. I really had nobody teaching me that. To be that way. It seemed like that was a part of me already for some reason. And I don't know where that came from, but it was there.
You remember Jan Ludwig, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Jan was telling me a story. He was in camp in New Jersey with Andy Brickley.
Yeah.
And Andy was the vet. What's it, like 12 rounds back then?
Yeah. Yeah.
The very last guy picked.
Sure.
And when Jan told me the story, it didn't connect, but he said, yeah, this guy, like, he was my roommate in camp, and all he did is lay in bed and stare at the ceiling. And now I look on it,
Yeah.
He was so focused that like, nothing's stopping me. And Andy had a nice career in the NHL.
Yeah, totally. And that I agree with that. And it sounds like people think it's kind of like, far off, like ooh, kind of stuff. I think it's science too, right? Like it's like you really, what you tell yourself. I have a good friend of mine, and I won't mention her name or anything, but she's been through, like everybody's been through stuff in her life, and she's putting up this. I find she puts up this act to protect herself, like she wants to be this hard ass. She's the sweetest person in the world. She's not a hard ass. And I'm trying to say to her, that's not who you are.
The name start with T.
What's that?
Name start with T.
I didn't get that at first. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, like, and again, man, this like probably like 5 to 7 years for me, like studying this stuff and looking at myself in the mirror. Man, it's really been interesting to look at myself and like, why am I the way I am? Right. That's
A while back, the book, The Secret. Remember that book, The Secret? Oprah had the author on. It was this, but that's really what it was.
Yeah. It is. I think that's fascinating where, like once you open up your mind more and accept of all these different possibilities are there, doesn't mean you have to believe totally in any one thing, but just think, okay, there's a lot of different options out there. Like why are we just thinking, and I'm not criticizing religion anyway, but why is it just Christianity or whatever? There's all these different, like we talk about multiple universes and quantum, physics and all that kinds of stuff. Yeah. I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
Well, and again, I think if you talk to any high achieving person, whether it's in athletics or business or entertainment or just in life, they've always had a manifestation or a vision that they never gave up on.
I know. And sometimes I think people are afraid because it looks kind of arrogant almost. Like people think, well, like, who do you think you are? But that is part of it.
Bill Brown was determined to become a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And he would not let anything stand in the way of becoming a SEAL.
Right.
And I think he had to go through two buds for sure before he became a SEAL.
Right.
And they called him Freak Brown because he was just so determined.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. Like that, I think that's the thing people need to understand, that if you want to accomplish great things, little things, whatever you want to accomplish, there are going to be other people who look at you like, what is wrong with you? right? Maybe because there's a lot of reasons, I think, right? Because maybe because they can't do it or not willing to come out of their comfort zone and do it.
Our friend
So
Kenny Bigby.
they're looking at you like, okay, I want to be like that, but I don't have whatever it takes, or I'm not letting myself have whatever it takes. So
I don't know if you recalled that, if Kenny said it when we had him on, but Kenny Bigby.
Yep.
Grew up in the hood in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Right? Was going to go to Ball State, believe it or not, on a dance scholarship.
Right.
Decided he wanted to become a Navy SEAL, couldn't swim.
Right.
Rented or bought a beat up van, drove out, slept in it
Yeah.
on the beach because he wanted to be by Coronado Island, get a 32nd African American
Yeah.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so what he was really, he was the 32nd African American. Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I know. Geez, that whole mental health thing, man. I just think that's so cool. Once you really, I wish more people would just open up their mind and say, okay, just because everybody else in the world is doing it a certain way, don't do it different just because you want to do it different. But if you doing it different is what's going to be successful for you, and that's the key, right? Don't worry about, like, Mark can give you advice, Tom can give you advice, but you really got to say to yourself, this is what I'm going to do, right? And you got to sell it to yourself that I'm going to do it, and that's it. Yeah.
And I think a big part of it are goals that are attainable. Like I could have been, well, I want to be the center of the New York Knicks. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to understand there are things that I always tell kids, prove people wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
you know, I forget where I learned that, but I think it might have been Dave Tippett or something who's pretty good. But yeah, people are always going to say, no, you can't do it. Just prove them wrong.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like, just don't listen to. And I think the thing is, too, like, don't get all, because other people say things, learn to say, okay, that person that said that about me that maybe I don't like, would I really go to him for advice, him or her for advice? And in most cases, you can say, well, no, I wouldn't go to them for advice. So why am I listening to what they're saying about me, right? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, definitely. I know you got to get running here. You got a client coming up and everything?
No, I just got Salt Lake Effect stuff to do.
You got to do what?
Hockey stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool.
We're
Excellent.
going to be practicing in Park City.
Oh,
Brand new
nice.
facility, Black Rock, believe it or not.
Oh,
$15 million facility.
oh,
I'm wondering what, because Utah, I don't know where their American League team is now, but I'm wondering if that's where they're going to pop it.
Huh. Very cool. Very cool. I was mistaken too. I was under the assumption that polygamy was legal in Salt Lake City. It's really not, right? They've just reduced the penalties for it. So you
Yeah, that's a really small set.
Yeah, right. So like you and Beth, you have to kind of dress down, thinking that maybe people are going to approach you and want to have like some kind of a.
That happens everywhere.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. See, you know what? I wasn't thinking. I was not thinking clearly. Yeah, definitely.
Back on the East Coast, a lot of women would approach me and say, "Hey, can you shovel my driveway?"
All right, everybody. Again, I know Thanksgiving's over with, but happy Thanksgiving to those people. Again, I know it's.
It was interesting too because the guys out here was Happy American Thanksgiving. They were very all the Canadian guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
definitely.
And again, it's still the holiday season. Although it's a very joyous time for a lot, it's a very tough time for a lot of other people too. So people that maybe are going through mental health issues, have lost loved ones. It's huge. I know it may seem like a weird thing to do it sometimes, but just even it's a random stranger, if you're looking at them and think, you know what, they look like they need help. Like just walking up to somebody and just showing them that you're there for them means a lot.
Hello.
Yeah, definitely. All right, brother. All right. Have a fantastic week.
Take care, guys.